Welcome, everybody. My name is Marisa Rodriguez, and I'm the NAJGA manager. And I'm really excited to be part of today's webinar and share a little bit about what we're planning for this fall's tours. So I'd like to hand things over to my co-presenter, Momoka Nakajima, so that she can introduce herself and get the webinar going.
Hi everyone. I hope everyone can hear me. I'm from Japanese Friendship Garden and Museum of San Diego. I'm Momoka. I'm the Programs and Cultural Affairs Manager at the JFGM. Thank you for joining us today. We'll do a Q&A later, so if you have any questions, we are here to answer today. Um, we're very, very excited to announce our 2026 Japan tour with you. And this will be our first collaboration tour with NAJGA and JFGM using our connection, Japanese Friendship Garden's connection to the artisans and the cities in Japan, and NAJGA's connections to the garden in Japan to create a special and exclusive tours for our members and communities today. All
Well, thank
right.
you, Momoka. So yes, as Mocha said, we're really excited. We really have some exciting tours planned, and there's not one, but two options for you to choose from. So we have our cultural exploration tour, which Momoka will talk a little bit more about. That's going to be a 7-day tour, November 9th to the 15th, and is geared more for the garden enthusiasts. And then we have a professional study tour geared more towards the professionals. That's 5 days, November 16th to the 20th. But we'll talk kind of most of our presentation is going to be just talking a little bit about the highlights of each tour, the differences between them, and helping all of you identify which tour would be a better fit for you.
Okay, so I'm gonna go over the cultural expression tour overview. So, as she mentioned, it will be 7 days. And 7 days in Tokyo, Yokohama, Kyoto, Mie Prefecture, and Uji in Kyoto. And the goal for this trip is really to experience Japan through gardens, culture, food, crafts, and local traditions. And we'll visit beautiful gardens, temples, museums, and also have special opportunity to meet and visit the artist studios and experience the crafts and some workshops there. And we wanted this tour to feel immersive but also relaxed because it's your vacation. So not overly packed, but so there will be time for you to enjoy each places and really take in the experience. Okay, so the next slide will be about Mie Prefecture. If you've been to Japan, you probably know Tokyo and Kyoto, and you've probably been there, but we wanted to include this Mie Prefecture. We'll spend about 2 days there, which will be pretty unique experience because many visitors to Japan, they don't usually get to explore this area because it's not always on top of the list. But we got to connect with the Iseshima, which is a city in Mie, tourism and convention organization, and they told us that there are not a lot of tourists there, so you get to actually see Japan with Japanese people. As you know, there are so many tourists in Japan now, so we wanted to include the city so you get to experience the quiet city. And Mie is a home to Ise Shrine, which is considered one of the most sacred Shinto shrines in Japan. And 6 out of 10 Japanese people have Ise Shrine on their bucket list, and which is on my bucket list as well. And it's also known as the birthplace of modern cultured pearls. So we'll learn more about the history and visit related sites. So it is a hidden treasure of Japan. I don't know if you've heard of Mikimoto pearls, that's where it's from. And one of the highlight I'm personally excited about is having lunch with the ama divers, the picture at the bottom. These traditional women free divers who have such an incredible cultural history. So they are the one who dive in, and Mie is right next to the ocean, so their um, seafood is amazing as well. Okay, for the next page. So in addition to the gardens and temples, we'll also have several hands-on cultural experience during the tour. For example, we'll do maybe do a wagashi workshop or maybe tea demonstration. We're still deciding on that. But we'll also visit artists that we connected through our Japanese Friendship Garden, visit their studio to see their actual workstations, and we get to experience their crafts. And other experiences includes the pearl farm in Mie and Iseshima and sake brewery because Mie is known to have a very clean water, and clean water is very crucial for sake. So if you like sake, it'll be fun. And throughout the tour, we really want everyone who's joining to not only see Japan, but also interact directly with the people and traditions that make these cultural practices so special. And on the next page, so so these are the tour details. There you go. So here are some details for cultural exploration tour. The tour officially starts in Tokyo on November 9th and ends in Kyoto on November 15th. And you can see the cost, and the tour includes hotel accommodations in Japan, breakfast, lunches, and transportation during the tour itself. The flights and dinners are not included, mainly just to give you more flexibility with travel plans and free evenings. So if you decide to stay longer or go to Japan earlier, that's also up to you. And really try to design the tour so that the logistics are taken care of. So you don't have to, once you're with us, you don't have to worry about anything. As you can probably tell, I'm from Japan, so I speak Japanese. So you will have a translator with you, so you don't have to worry about anything there. Okay, I'll hand it to Marisa.
Perfect. Yeah, and that's such a huge thing, Momoka. We're so excited to have you be there with us as a Tokyo native. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the professional study tour, and then again, we'll talk a little bit about the differences and look for your questions. So the professional study tour is 5 days, so a little bit shorter. It's sort of designed for people that are working in public gardens, or maybe they're private practitioners that have their own business. The idea is that they could leave North America or wherever their place of origin is on a Saturday and then be back home on a Saturday. So we're basically on the ground for 5 days. Um, and we're really packing it in. So we're going to actually be in 4 cities, um, Tokyo, Kyoto, Kobe, and Yokohama. And for those of you that have been to Japan before, Kobe is like a 30-minute ride from Kyoto, and Yokohama is a 30-minute approximately ride from Tokyo. But we're going to be covering those 4 cities and 20 gardens. So unlike the kind of more relaxed pace of the cultural exploration tour, we're really, maximizing each day, for approximately seeing, 4 gardens or so each day. And then there'll be receptions in both cities. So one of the things that is really exciting about the professional study tour is that not only will the people participating be able to connect to other professionals coming from outside of Japan, but also connecting to people who work in gardens and design, build, maintain. Japanese gardens in Japan. So we'll have a reception in Tokyo and a reception in Kyoto um, while we're there. So here are just some kind of quick highlights. Again, we're visiting 20 gardens, and I've just put 8 on this list, but some highlights in Kyoto will be Ryoanji, Gingakuji, Murinan, and Gingakuji. So both the silver and the gold pavilion. And then in Tokyo, Hamarikyu, Gyozumi, Goishikawa Korakuen, and Rikugien. So all really amazing gardens, and you'll get kind of a variety of gardens in Japan. So to share some of the tour details with you. So this tour, unlike the cultural exploration tour that's starting in Tokyo and ending in Kyoto, this is going to be the exact opposite. We're starting in Kyoto and ending in Tokyo. And if you're, considering the tour but have questions about travel, feel free to reach out to me afterwards, or we can even talk a little bit about it in the Q&A, because it's really easy to travel between both cities. So if you did a round trip to Tokyo, regardless of the city that you're or the tour that you're participating in, it'll be really easy for you to get back to Tokyo. Or do, a round trip to Kyoto, whatever makes the most sense. But it's, travel is fairly easy between both. So don't worry about it, starting and ending in different cities. The cost is $2,800. And just like the other one, it's going to cover all the hotel nights, starting the night before the tour begins and ending with the final night of the final day. Breakfast at the hotels, lunches as a group, dinners, and flights are going to be your primary exclusions. But we will be using public transit all the way through. So let's just talk a little bit about the differences. So as we've kind of been indicating, the cultural exploration tour is definitely has a much more relaxed pace. We're going to see gardens, but also other cultural sites and experiences. So the idea is to kind of give you an immersion, a taste of Japanese culture, including gardens, but not exclusively to gardens. Whereas the professional study tour is super intensive. We have 5 days and we're maximizing those days and really focusing on gardens. All of our visits are going to be gardens. Our receptions are going to be focused on, including other garden professionals. So it's really kind of a completely different approach to this tour and a different experience for sure. That said, and for those of you that have been connected to NAJGA for a while, you know that we did these 2 tours, different stops, different experiences in 2024. And all of our tours are open to everybody. So if you're an enthusiast, but really want to do the professional tour, maybe you're a volunteer at your local public garden or a docent and just really want to connect to the professionals on the tour, or want to focus on gardens, you are absolutely welcome to join the professional tour. And likewise, if you're a professional, but the enthusiast tour, the cultural exploration tour is just a better fit, kind of is more what you're looking to experience during the tour, you can absolutely join that. And generally speaking, we've had some crossover. So we usually on the enthusiast tour have a few professionals, and on the professional tour have a few enthusiasts. So it's not, no hard and fast rules there. You don't have to be in sort of, the intended group to participate in the specific tour. We're really flexible in that way. So that, and actually we have a little promo as our final slide. We definitely, want to encourage all of you to attend. We have limited spaces. So we're planning to take up to 14 people in both tours. So it'll be small groups. So for that reason, we want to really encourage everybody to sign up early. And everybody that attends today's webinar gets $100 off the cultural exploration tour. So within the next 24 hours. So if you're interested, thinking about it, you definitely want to take advantage of that. But that really kind of concludes our formal presentation. So we want to take the rest of the time to answer your questions.